I found this video recently that I can actually relate to in a lot of ways. He went from a YouTuber to getting an Amazon job, and why that actually happened is actually really interesting.
I was on YouTube, but somehow I was still broke. The name of my channel, Picture from Bruv. Around 28.
Okay, so he had almost 90,000 subscribers. I actually looked up his YouTube channel. They do have some videos with quite a few views on here. And if you look at many of their top videos, it looks like a group of friends that basically talk about a random topic that a lot of guys can relate to. And then some of them, they are actually reacting to some other videos, which is something that can go well, as I'm showing you right now, but you have to be very careful the way you do it.
I made my first video with my friend named DeAndre. We was in college, sitting down, made a video. It was cool. I went to my bro's school and we did a video. I think it was questions girls have for guys. Video did like 100K views. We got a lot of traction, and then from there we became the Bruvs. In my head, I'm like, yo, if we stay consistent, we're gonna win. This is the plan. Everybody was.
Okay, so this screenshot here shows you some stuff that a lot of people don't realize when they try to become a YouTuber. There's 3 different aspects of becoming a YouTuber. One, you have to actually make content that people like, that people will come back to watch. Otherwise, it's going to be very inconsistent and you're going to have a really hard time at ever going full time. Second, you have to actually find a way to monetize this. It doesn't have to be with just ads. You can do affiliate marketing, you can do your own products, you can do a lot of different things. Sponsorships are common, but when you rely on just ads, you can see how it can affect you as a YouTuber. So this channel was getting tons of views, but look at this. So you had the yellow money sign, which means usually like limited monetization. You have the red money sign, which usually means demonetized, which means this video can't make money. This one looks like it's okay. This one looks like limited ad suitability, again, so you might make a fraction from ad revenue, if anything. And then this one, age restricted and looks like ad suitability. So 4 of the 5 videos on the screenshot here, even though they're all hundreds of thousands of views, had some sort of issue with guidelines. So the third way that you have to consider to be successful as a YouTuber is you have to be very careful with YouTube's guidelines. Some people complain about it. They're there for a reason. YouTube is so big. It's like the 2nd largest website in the world in terms of volume. And so a lot of times there will be mistakes with how videos get taken down or are flagged, things like that. But you have to just study their guidelines and adapt to how things are going. And that's part of the risk of becoming a YouTuber, is it can be very unstable because of this.
On board, we was doing it. It was popping. We was flying out. We was going on vacation. We was doing things, but we was making money. It was going well. And then people move.
Okay, so he started saying like, okay, and then people started to move. Well, when you build a channel, you have to be very particular about what is this channel about. And then you can't, the way the algorithm works, a lot of times it doesn't do well if you go outside of what your channel is mainly known for. So if you look at this channel, it's basically a group of friends that talk about common topics and things that people can relate to, or a group of friends that are reacting to other people's content. So that can be great, but when you start growing up, when you start families, when people move away and get other opportunities, it can hurt your channel because then you don't have the same group of people that you started with.
Consistency stopped and life hit. Subscribers don't pay the bills. I was doing Instacart and DoorDash.
So he said subscribers don't pay the bills. Well, again, they had a lot of issues, like I showed you, with demonetization, limited ad suitability, things like that, age-restricted content. That is definitely not going to help with the ads paying the bills. Now, the ads can pay the bills. The problem is the type of content they're doing also has low CPM, which basically means that advertisers are going to have really low bids on that type of content, which means you're going to have to get hundreds of thousands or millions of views on every video for you to make anything close to a full-time income. And then you might have to be splitting it 4 or 5 different ways depending on how they agreed on doing that between all of their friends.
In between us doing videos just to make some extra money. I also was selling merch. I didn't have the best money management at the time.
So he was selling merch, he was trying things like Instacart, DoorDash, that kind of stuff, Uber, whatever, side hustle type gigs to make ends meet, which is not sustainable, and it's going to add a lot of wear and tear to your car. So
it didn't work how it was supposed to work. I had a kid, the money wasn't coming in quick enough. I couldn't really be the best that I wanted to be. My girlfriend was telling me to get a job.
So another thing is, whether you are, already with someone or not, when you are a YouTuber, one thing I can tell you from firsthand experience, it can be hard to convince somebody that your channel pays the bills, or your business pays the bills, or depending on how you structure it, that YouTube is not your only source of income. People will see your YouTube profile, and a lot of times that's the most public part of your business. And so you have to explain to them, like, well, I have other aspects. Or if you are just a YouTuber, if you're someone like Markiplier or somebody like that, or PewDiePie, or one of these mega streamers, then yeah, you don't really even need other things, even though they have them. Some of these top streamers, they don't need more because they have so many viewers and so many subscribers that watch every single video. But that's not the reality for most people. Even if you get to 100,000 subscribers, there's a good chance that you will run into some problems at some point, whether it's with guidelines, whether it's with somebody that you've been recording with, whether you get screwed by a business partner or whatever. So convincing somebody that YouTube is a full-time career is difficult, and you have to prove it. Now, some people will be open-minded and be like, yeah, that makes sense, and hey, at least you can't be fired, right? Other people will be like, conditioned to look at things from a corporate career perspective. Most people are not YouTubers. Most people are working regular jobs. And so they're going to be like looking at this and be like, well, how is this a career? How are you even making any money doing this? Just making videos. This looks like more of a hobby. And so when you try to start a family, or you even try to get married or anything like that, being just a YouTuber is going to be a hard sell to some people. It's not everyone.
I'm not trying to get a job. I thought getting a job was meaning I quit, so I didn't want to get a job. I was like, yo, how I'm gonna do this? One day I was doing Instacart, and it was really slow. On the phone, my guy Big, he just got a job at Fax at the time. He was telling me, like, yo, bro, I think you should get a job. Like, you could always still be a content creator, but you need money. I started applying for jobs.
That's another really good point, is that when you actually get a job, you're not just admitting defeat. It's just a phase. It's just like, well, you could get a job, you could really like it, and it could stabilize your life, and you can make content on the side and not even have to worry about how many views you're getting. You could make content for fun. I actually have some other channels that I don't even do for any sort of money or anything. I literally just do them for fun, and I don't even really care that much whether they get a lot of views or not. It's something I just do as a hobby. You don't have to completely give up content creation just because you get a job.
Nobody hit me back. Big sent me a link to Amazon. I applied, got the job. If you have a dream or a goal, a job doesn't really stop your goal. Job is to help you. It doesn't hinder you. Ever since I got a job, I've been more stable. Life has been better. I've been able to pay my bills on time.
So being a YouTuber can be extremely unstable, especially if you don't have a high frequency of posting. And depending on the type of niche you're in, and of course, depending on many other factors like the algorithm, guidelines, what's going on, are a bunch of people creating AI stuff and putting it online that's now your competition. You are constantly overcoming challenges, just like with any other job as a YouTuber, except there's not much of a safety net as a YouTuber. It's very high risk, high reward. And so for this situation, when you have a family and your channel is having problems and a lot of the people you used to record with are no longer available, it makes more sense really to get a job in that situation. That way you're under less pressure with your content. So I actually think that creating content is a great thing to do, but I don't think you should just start out relying on it. I think it's a great thing to do part-time and just test different things to see if there is some sort of value that you can offer the world that's not already being offered, or some sort of experience that you can offer, which I'll try to make a video about that soon, about how using your specific experience is now even more important than ever when it comes to being a YouTuber or being any sort of content creator. And that is actually a big part of how you get successful on YouTube now. But there's no shame in getting a job. There's no shame in doing content just maybe on the weekends or one night a week until you see the types of results you have. You may never go full time. It might just be a side income. And if you ever lose your job in one of these mass layoffs, maybe you can scale it up from there and you won't be totally broke while you're looking for another job.